Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we are going to discuss about data preparation, and in this session we will be using all kind of files that can be used as a data source that can feed the data to our Microsoft Power BI. So moving to the next slide, we will let's see how the PL-300 exam certificate for the certification of Power BI looks like. So basically, for the data preparation, we have around 25 to 30% of the content regarding which there will be the questions. And for modeling the data, there will be around 25 to 30% of the questions. For visualization and analysis of the data, there will be around 25 to 30% of the questions. And for the deployment and maintenance of the assets, there will be around 15 to 20% of the questions. So this is basically covering everything from end to end. So like you start with preparing the data where you identify the sources, identify the data, transform the data and all. Once that is done, you create your model using the joins. You create semantic models, and you may also use DEX formulas to create some of the measures which you will be using in your report. Now, once your model is prepared, then basically you move on to creating reports, dashboards, and tiles for which you will be using your semantic model as the source. And once your visualization is done, you go ahead with the deployment. So you test the data, the testing is done, and then you deploy the solution so that business users will start using uh, the application or the dashboards. So then we also need to maintain the assets. As any other software, once the deployment is done, we need to support our tool or our software post deployment. So this is a very high level examination structure for PL-300. We will discuss in more details in other slides in the later sessions. But if you go through all these sessions that I am uploading, so it is like almost covering everything related to the exam. And at the later stage, we will also discuss a few of the sample questions, what is that is being asked in the exam, and we'll also try to explain their solutions as well. So, yeah, let's move to the next slide for today's session. So to start with, I need everyone to understand that why there is a need of a data preparation, because we start our first stage in Power BI is data preparation step. So why this data preparation step is important to know, and why this is very much important is basically when we work in any organization, and if it's a big organization or even a smaller organization, so organization use different kind of storage for each business operations. So like storing some data in Excel, some data in a business warehouse, some data in SharePoint, some data in SQL Server, and so on. So why that is the case? So let's take an example of an airline business, and I will take a very high level example. I will not dig into more details, but just for the simplicity, we will take an example of airline where we have a capital. Now, capital can be aircraft, it can be a building, it can be the resources, or it can be the bank accounts as well. So, this is the capital through which the business starts. Now, once the business has started, there are certain operational costs like paying salary to the crew members, paying cost for the catering company, paying the cost or paying for the fuel cost, and some other payments as well, like if the company is buying some assets like chairs or desktops, laptops, anything related to the business, then the company need to pay that cost to the vendor, so that is also comes under cost. And then we also have kind of like customers books the ticket based on the available dates. Now this is a very small example, and if you see that when customer books a ticket, there is a portal. So customer needs to go to that portal, put all his personal informations like age, name, and all, and then need to select the dates. So this scheduler sends the date and available flights and seats to the booking app. And once the booking is done, then again this information is updated here. So all these transaction that is being happening at the front end is basically stored in some database. So let's suppose, for example, we can take as MS SQL Server. So whatever transaction is happening between the customer and the booking site is being recorded in SQL Server. Now, when company is purchasing goods or uh, paying their resources, it can be different software. It is, let's suppose, it is not stored in MS SQL, but they went with some Azure services where they are maintaining their cost. So for all procurement and sales information, they are storing in Azure analysis service cubes. So for simplicity, I have taken just one, but there will be different modules as well. For example, if paying a cost is kind of a salary, then company uses different HR modules for the human resource management. For other cost related like procurement, they use another software. So n number of softwares will be there, but it depends. Like for simplicity, we take only one as like Azure analysis server cubes. And then for the capital, let's suppose there is a business warehouse where we fetch all the capital related information from other systems. So this is a very simple example. The system, the companies or organization architecture might be complex as well, but the reason of preparing the data is basically the data is spread throughout the organization based on the business functions and based on the softwares. Uh, those are opted for a specific business function. So if your business has, for example, 20 business functions, and all those 20 business functions, you have like four functions working in one software, five another functions working in another software. That means you have couple of softwares and couple of databases where you are storing your data. So when you want to have your organizational level of analysis of the data, in that case, you need to aggregate that data. You need to build a pipeline to get the relevant data from each sources. So if you want to know, like on age basis or an age range, who is my potential customer, then you need your customer related information from, in this example, MS SQL. If you want to know the cost, deep dive to the cost analysis, like where I'm paying more cost or how I can be a cost efficient, then you need the cost related information from this. And if you want to know the what is the status of your capital, then you need to fetch the information from business warehouse. So this is just an example. It can be other sources as well, some manual file through flat file as well. So this is the need because you want to know the overview. So these are cross functionals, like the capital is dependent on cost, the cost is dependent on like how many bookings we are getting. So these modules, business modules, are interrelated to each other. So whenever we try to create an insight, it is very important to have the respective information from each business modules to our Power BI. Then only we will be able to generate insights which will be very helpful for the business decisions. So this is the real need, like why we need to prepare our data before proceeding ahead. So this is the first step to identify your organizational system architecture and to know that which data is resides in where and what will be the best possible options to fetch the data from your sources. So I think at a very high level, it is very much clear, like why do we need to prepare the data? Let's move to the next slide. So as I said, data preparation can have different data sources. It can be a file, it can be a data warehouse, it can be a data lake, it can be any online portals, or OneDrive, SharePoint. It can be anything. So there are an lot many of connections that are being supported in Power BI. But in this session, we will discuss about the file uploads basically. And when we discuss about the file upload, the file type that Power BI supports by default is Excel, CSV, text, then JSON file, XML file, and there are some one or two more file types as well, which we will cover during the demo sessions. In terms of location, so how we can store those files, because file is something which is not in a database. It needs to be stored somewhere, right? It is not a kind of a relational database table, but it's a file. So file needs to be stored at some location. It can be a local file. So in case of a local file, basically you are storing your file in your local machine or PC. And when you connect to your local machine to upload the file, basically it doesn't synchronize the data. What it does, it uploads the data. So it copies the data from your local machine and uploads the data to Power BI. So that once the upload is done in Power BI, and if you go into local machine and do any changes to that file, that change will not go to the Power BI unless you manually upload it again. So that is one thing to remember if you are dealing with local file. So this is basically used when there is some file which is very static, which is not expected to change very frequently. The other option is OneDrive for business and OneDrive for personal. These are basically the both are the same things. Only thing is, in case of personal, you need to have several settings like keep me signed in options and all to allow data to be synchronized. Now this option is used in case you want to keep your file at the OneDrive and a Power BI in synchronization. So basically you can schedule a refresh, you can do the configuration for those synchronization, and whenever you do any changes in the file at OneDrive, those changes will be updated in the Power BI. The SharePoint team site is almost same as the OneDrive. The only difference is how you connect to it. So basically there is different options to connect to SharePoint and OneDrive in Power BI. Otherwise, in functionality wise, both are almost the same. So these are the locations where file can be stored and fetched to the Power BI. So let's move to the demo session and we will see like how we can upload the data in Power BI. So I am at the initial screen of Power BI and can go to the home, and here we have the get data option. Just click on it, and here are the category wise data sources. Click on file and you can see, as I said, there's a workbook, Excel workbook, text, CSV, XML, JSON, folder options, PDFs, Persisquate, and SharePoint. So we'll start with CSV or text. So just select on this one and click on connect. So I have a text file as well as the CSV file. So let's suppose I select the CSV file and click on open. So it shows the preview to you, and because CSV files are can have different delimiters, it shows what kind of delimiter. So it automatically picks the delimiter, but in case if it is not working for you, you can choose the specific delimiter in your case. And here we have 200, but if you want to see all the data, you can basically select based on entire data set, so that you can validate the data for your entire data set. So looks fine for me. What I can do is basically I can click on load, and it will take a little bit time because the data file is huge, around 50 MB. Okay, so data is uploaded. Now we can go to the table view, and when we click on the table view, we can see all the data preview over here, and it is at the bottom you can see how many rows are there. So basically 509, 519. So huge data set for this. And now let's suppose how the transformation works if you want to see it, then what we can do is we can click on new column here. And in the column, what we can do, we can write a formula for this column. Let's suppose the name of the column is year, and how we want to derive is basically just put in, just like Excel, you will get the sample formulas by just typing it. So you can get the year. Now, from which column do you want to extract the year? Is basically the first column, the flight date. So if I want to extract the year from flight date, I can put flight date, this one. You can select, and then you can select year. Then you can close the bracket, click enter. Sorry, this one should be dot date. My bad. So this one you need to select dot date, click enter. So we'll come to know like how the DEX formulas works later on. So don't be bothered much about like how this text formula is written. So once you will keep practicing, it is very much similar to Excel formula. Okay, so this is how we can write a DEX formula and upload our data. So now we will rename this model. So we will right click and click on rename. So basically we have uploaded this sample file airline, and this is from CSV, so we will write as CSV and click enter. So this is our CSV file, so we'll click OK, and we'll go back to the data. Now we will try to upload some other files. So CSV is done. Excel is more or less is the same. So you can select an Excel, go to the slides. So you can select any of the Excel, for example, this one, click OK. And here, if your Excel has multiple sheets, then this sheet will appear over here. So you can select if all the sheets you want to upload, and then later on you can transform your data accordingly. So here I have only one sheet, so I can just simply select it, click on load. So a small data set, very quick to load. So let me close this one. So this is from Excel. I will rename it as airline Excel. So you can see the data is being loaded from airline Excel. Very quick. Okay. Moving to the next data source. I'll click on files, XML, click connect, and moving to the sample. So this is my XML file, and I can just simply open it and click on rows. So here you can see the file is appearing similar way. Click on load, and very quick, just go here and rename it airline XML. So if you want to practice for XML or JSON file, you can go through online conversion of your Excel. So you can take one sample data in Excel and just search or Google like convert Excel file to, or convert CSV file to XML or CSV file to JSON. You'll get so many links where you can just put your file and convert it to XML, so that you can practice like how you can upload the XML. So because you can see the data is same, I just converted the data from CSV to XML format. Similarly, I have one JSON format file as well for the same data. So if I go here, this is the sample data for the JSON. I'll click open. And this is how the JSON file comes. So this is the transform option where it has come. So I will just rename it as airline JSON. Then I click apply and close. So one more file. So it's very simple to have different files and just upload it straight away. Going back, so we have covered Excel, we have covered CSV. Let's suppose let's cover text as well. So the text file, similar way. So in text also you will get the delimiter, what kind of delimiter you want to use. You can select over here and click on load, and sample data is ready. So I'll rename it for the reference purpose. So here line text. Okay. Okay. Moving back. So you can see how simple it is to upload Excel or CSV text or XML or JSON and PDF as well. So let's suppose why PDF is important. When you have a structured PDF data, you can use a PDF as well, because many of the organizations sends the report, or many of the team sends the report in a PDF format. So they generate some report from some of the dashboards, and but you want to use that data in your report or Power BI. In that case, you can use a PDF. So select PDF and connect, and this is the PDF sample data, and click open. And here you can see there are a lot many of tables, because there are a lot many of pages in the PDF. You can say. So I'm not sure what is there. So you can see the data like this. So third page, fourth page, fifth page. So all 5 pages I have selected. Either you can use the table, because I think the table and the pages are the same. So if I select the table, you can see the values at the top, 6 columns. And if I select the page one, it is a bit different in terms of null values. Okay. I think this is a bit different, but what you can do, you can select the tables, all the tables which you want. So these are basically the pages, and click on transform. So the transform window will appear like this, and what you need to do is basically, because these are the different pages, you want to merge all the pages into one. So to do that, here is an append option you need to use. So basically click on append and append query as new. So you select append query as new, and you can, because you have 5 tables, you can select this option, and page one is already selected. You can select from page to 5 and okay. So one new table is created over here, and you can see all the data are appended accordingly. It's very simple. So this is one of the step, like how you can do the transformation. So here you can write it as airline from PDF. Okay. Apply, close. Done. Moving back to the report page, click on get data. Now there is one a very special case where you have, for example, a company is doing business in several regions, and each region is sending their data in a constant or a same format, but you need to consolidate all the data into one final before uploading it. Okay, so what you can do, you can keep all the data files at one folder position, whether it's a SharePoint, whether it's a OneDrive, or whether it's a local machine. But what you can do, you can put all those files with the same format but different locations at one folder. So you can click on folder and connect, and here you can either just copy from here. So this is the path where I have saved my all the 3 files. All the 3 file structure is the same, only this is for career code 9E, this is for career AA, this is for career DL. So different careers but the same data structure. So I can paste the path over here and click on OK, and here you can see all the files are shown over here. So what we can do is we can click on load, and then go to the files, and this path data is loaded. So you can see this path is accessed, data modified, external folder path name. So by this you can upload the path if you are using, if you are going to use any of these data for any kind of automation or any purposes, so that you can generate the respective path. But in our case, we are not very much interested in the path, but we need the actual data from those paths. So what we can do, we can delete this for the time being. Okay, deleted. Now we will go again, select folder, paste the link, click OK, and here we can select combine and load. Okay, so when you select on combine and load, you will get all the files, and if you click on sheet 1, you can preview the data here also. So click on OK. Okay, now go to path, and here you can see all the respective information is loaded. So you can see all respective information is loaded. So this is the table, and all the respective information is here. So if you don't need the source name now, you can just simply delete the source name, and then this is our data consolidated into one file. It's very simple. So you can see the career code 9E is also here, AA is also here. So you can have n number of files at one folder location, and using this feature, you can just simply combine all those files into one. You do not need to do it manually in the backend, like consolidate it once and then upload it. So you can do it directly in the Power BI. Okay. So these are the file types which I wanted to discuss. This is ParserQ is also one of the file which is related to the cloud-based files. And I have one sample file for this one as well, I guess. Let me try that if that works. I go to the sample files, and here I have, no, do I have the ParserQ file? Yeah, this one. So this one I have downloaded from online, one sample file. This is the respective file, and what I can do is basically copy this link. Sorry, sample file, and copy this link. Go to the Power BI, paste the link, and then you need to put the file name as well. So in this case, go to the properties, copy the file name, and paste it over here. And then you need to give the extension as well. So extension is this one. Just copy it and click on dot, paste, and then click OK. Sorry, something is wrong. Let me retry. Oh, so here there are two dots. We remove one dot, click OK. So you can see the data is now appearing from the ParserQ file, and then you can click on load. So it's loaded. This one is from path. This one is from ParserQ. So you can see that we have covered almost all kind of files that is being uploaded. So SharePoint is also very simple. So for SharePoint, you do not need to do much. You can just click on SharePoint, click connect, and you can just give the SharePoint URL, a folder URL you can copy from the SharePoint and just paste it over here, and then it is fine. So it is very simple. So if there are multiple files, you'll get all those file options in this URL. I don't have any SharePoint folder as of now, so I will just skip this part, but you can try yourself. If you have any questions or any issues, you can just let me know. What else I want to demonstrate is the web option. So for the OneDrive, So for example, this is the one for OneDrive, you need to select this web option. So click on web and click on connect. So selecting the web option and clicking that, it asks for a URL. Now what URL you need to provide? So basically, let me go to a web portal over here. Let me close my other accounts. So let's suppose this is an account and this is the file I have. Okay, this file I want to upload. So if I click on share option, it generates a link. I copy this link and go back to the Power BI, paste it and click OK. So we are expecting an error over here. It is trying to connect. Okay, so this is not giving me a table view. You can see it's an XML view, which is very difficult for me to code. You can see all the data is an XML view and the text displayed if I select this. So this is not what I need. So what I can do, I can cancel it, go back, go to web option, select web, connect. Now, how to get the data from OneDrive is go back to the OneDrive, close this option, select your file, and there is an option to embed. Either you can click on three dots and there is an option to embed, or you can just simply select from embed. So I will click on embed. Once you click on embed, there is a link which you will be able to see over here. Just copy this link. It's very simple. Copy this link, open a notepad, paste the link, and here you can see the inverted comma, double inverted comma. Just delete everything before that and delete everything after the double inverted comma like this. So this is my link. Instead of embed, what we will do, we will write it download, and that's it. Now we will copy this link, go to our Power BI, paste it, click OK, and let's wait for the magic. And here you go. So this is the file that we were trying to upload, and you can see it is appearing as expected. Now we can click on load option. That's uploading. Yeah. It's a big file taking some time. Loaded. Go here. You can rename it as this one is from OneDrive. See. So we have covered everything apart from SharePoint. And as I said, the SharePoint and OneDrive is almost the same. In the SharePoint, you can either select the SharePoint file link or you can select the SharePoint folder link. The only difference between the SharePoint and the OneDrive is basically when you try to get the data, you need to select the SharePoint option instead of web. For OneDrive, you need to select web option, this one. Okay. So this is what I wanted to cover in this session, like how you can bring data from different file types and different file locations. Just for a small preview, what you can do, you can play around with this airline, any of the files. So let's play around with this one. And if I want to have flight date wise data, so let's suppose I want a line chart. I can click on the line chart and I can select the flight date. And in terms of flights, I can use the distance. So drill down a bit more. Okay. So here you can see for the month of January, date wise, how we can put the data in terms of days. Yeah. So I think the file type is not of a date format. That is why this 35 is appearing over here. But this is how we can build a simple reports. So this is a line chart. If you want to have a bar chart, you can click on the bar chart and this changes to a bar chart and horizontal as well. So this is a column chart. This is a bar chart, or you can select any of the chart as per your need. So this data set is very simple. If you want to have a table kind of a thing, you can just simply select a table and this is how the data will appear. So quarter, month and everything. So this is very simple. You can have your data like this, and you can also insert other charts. Like if you want to have a pie chart and you want to have this data based on career. So basically, you want to have the distance covered and you want to see it by career. So you can select the career. You can see there are multiple careers and how they are distributed among each other. This is very simple. So this is basically used. Choosing a correct chart is also important. This pie chart is basically used if you have less number of values. So here we can see there are a very huge list, but if there is 4 or 5 and we want to see the percentage, then it is better to use a donut chart or a pie chart. But if it is too much, then it will become too clumsy. So then we can choose other charts as well. So that is the reason why chart selection is really important, like what kind of chart. This is also one of the chart which you can use for this type of data visuals. Okay. Otherwise, you can also use a bar chart like this. So what it says that for each category, sorted in a descending order, what is for each distance per career wise, career code wise. So I think this is what I wanted to cover in this session. Stay tuned. I will demonstrate the data modeling part, like the transformation and the text formula part in the next session. I'm trying to keep it very simple. I don't want to make it very complex so that uh, everyone is very much comfortable, even if he or she is new to Power BI. If you have any suggestions on my videos, please do let me know in comments. I will try to improve it. But my major goal is, because I was going through all the visualization tools, including SAP Analytics Cloud, Power BI, Tableau, ClickSense, ClickView, and I will be soon adding all other visualization tool videos as well. But my motive is to help people who want to learn any of the visualization tool. Okay, so stay tuned, and if you do like my video, do share it with your friends who are interested to learn Power BI. So this is it for today's session. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day.